That was last year at Toy Mouse. Terrified. Our next guest is an All-Australian Premiership player, played 26 of 26. He was getting tagged off the half-back flank. He's a Twitter master. Harry O'Brien, welcome to Game Day.
Can I just quickly make it clear, if you bring out any mice, I'm going straight away.
Yeah. We've made a pack, there's no mice. Snakes and other bits and pieces maybe, but no mice today.
Okay, fantastic.
Talk about last year, any way you can improve. 26 from 26, All-Australian Premiership year, top 10 BNF. Must have been sort of Harry Wonderland.
Yeah, it was a great year last year, but you know, I'm still 24 and I think I've got a great deal of improvement. I'm still learning about the game. There's heaps of areas that I can improve on. So, as Mick says, if you stand still, everyone goes past you.
Rob, I know you want to ask on a different topic, but before we get there, the mouse terrified you. You're going so well, you've won the pre-season cup already. But Heath Shaw at the end of it, have a look at this vision, gets terrified by streamers. Now, this is Heath out the back. If you, I don't know whether we get to see this again slow-mo. And then he pretends, oh, no, I'm no problem. So is there anything else that scares the defenders that the clubs might use against you?
Yeah, there's quite a few things, but we'll keep that quiet.
Streamers and mice, Robbo?
Streamers and mice, yeah.
Harry, already Collingwood have said that internally they're not talking about last year. Is that the same with the players? At the same time, hunger's always a question after a young team wins a premiership. History's littered with clubs who folded away. What are Collingwood doing to combat that?
Well, I think the best thing that we have going for us in terms of that is Mick Malthouse has actually been through, I suppose, what you call the premiership hangover. His time at Richmond, they didn't go back-to-back. With West Coast, they didn't go back-to-back. He knows exactly why teams fall into that trap, and from day one of pre-season, Mick and the rest of the coaching panel made it very clear that we've got to put behind us what we were able to achieve. It was fantastic that we were able to go all the way and fulfil our dreams. However, we have to keep pushing on, and they drummed it out of us pretty early from day one of pre-season.
Harry, just watching the celebrations here, and that moment there will be with you forever. But is it true that Mick has actually said, right, let's totally forget about it? You don't look at vision from last year, that is now gone?
Yeah, well, he didn't really say don't look at vision from last year, but I think the players are at that stage where that was last year, and I think a lot of supporters still to this day will come up and congratulate me and congratulate the players, and the players, they sort of go, because it feels like so long ago. So yeah, we're certainly moved on from that and really looking forward to the challenges that lay ahead.
You're a wonderful humanitarian, Harry, and you've got a player playing for you in Andrew Cracker, and it's been well documented, his issues, and he's had a terrific pre-season. What role or what involvement have you had with Andrew since you arrived at the club in dealing with his past issues and helping him with his future?
Well, I'm really fortunate. Andrew's number 7, so his locker's right next to mine, so I sit down with him. Before every training session, we always have a chat, and starting to really get to know him. And he's just a fantastic guy. And as you mentioned, his past issues. Everyone's got a past that they've had to deal with. Everyone's made mistakes. But something that I'm really impressed by him is he's turning the biggest negative that occurred in his life into a positive. And he's very active in the community, mentoring people that have fallen down a path of I suppose, doing negative things, but I'm really impressed by his inner resolve to use a tragedy and turn it into a triumph.
He's the first person ever to win a best and fairest, a premiership, the Norm Smith medal equivalent, and the Brownlow equivalent in the waffle. Does he slide straight into your 22?
Well, I don't pick the team, but his pre-season form would suggest that yes. he will come in and make an impact.
You're one of the great Twitterers, Tim. Your son is one of the great Twitterers.
You're a great twit.
Now, you tweeted after getting Mark Lacroix in the head with a ball that it was an amusing moment. Let's just have a look at what happens during the pre-season. Throwing the ball back to Mark Lacroix. Talk us through it. What did you tweet after that? Didn't mean to, but amusing.
No, I didn't. It's one of those things, you know, you release the ball and then you just watch it. It almost appeared as though it just hung in the air for so long and just lobbed and just hit him nicely in the head. But I honestly didn't mean to do that, and I thought it was pretty funny though. That's why I tweeted. You know, I actually didn't mean to hit him in the head, but I thought it was quite funny.
We get all your tweets now because Game Day, Robbo, has sort of joined the social media world, and we've joined Twitterville, and we're Facebooking and other bits and pieces. Yep. You can follow us. You've got behind the scenes, etc. Jump on board. The addresses are on your screen, and also every weekend we've got a live studio audience. So just send in an email, gameday@7.com.au if you want to jump on board. Time for a break, but on the other side, it's new little segment coming up, which I think you're really going to like.
Yes, I've heard about this.
Stitched Up, it's called. Lee Montagna, Nick Riewoldt, earpiece in Nick Riewolt's ear, obviously, as opposed to putting it somewhere else. And he goes in and he gets told what to do by Lee Montagna in a very social situation. Join us on the other side of the break. Play of the day and Stitched Up. Friday night footy kicks off very soon.
Fresh of the man. Magnificent. He has hit that beautifully. Gun barrel strike. They've got their hands around this match now. That's his bread and butter play. Massive kick. There's a celebration. He just whacked it. How clever is that? Wow, isn't that exhilarating? Good snap, miracle goal. Terrific. They can't miss. You betcha. The kick, the result, the roar.
Welcome back to Game Day for the first time in season 2011. Harry O'Brien is the guest. We spoke to Harry just before the break about Stitched Up, a new segment we're going to be showing throughout the year. And you heard about this, Harry?
I have heard about it. I'm very excited to see how it pans out.
Well, I'll just explain it again. What happens is we get a couple of teammates generally to set each other up. One guy is giving the instructions for the other to act out what is happening. He's got an earpiece in his ear. The first Stitched Up we did was Nick Riewoldt being stitched up by Lee Montagna. It's in Houlihan's in Brighton, a little coffee shop. And here's just a little sneak peek.
All right, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to walk in, put your hands in the air and say, Nicky Riewoldt's in the house.
Nicky Riewoldt's in the house.
So, Annabelle, I've got a joke.
I've got a joke, Annabelle.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock.
Sorry.
Owen.
Owen.
That's your...
Owen, when the Saints go marching in. Keep singing nice and loud.
When the Saints go marching in. Now, that is in its entirety next weekend on Game Day, and it is extraordinary. Apparently there are a few people going, poor bloke's off his head here. Luckily, very good sort of help from the team at Houlihan, so that's Stitched Up. It's going to happen throughout the year.
We're looking forward to yours, Harry, too.
Yeah. Who would you like to stitch up most?
Nick Maxwell, because he got me with the mouse. I'd love to get it.
Okay, well, let's see if we can't do that. Both players know they're being stitched up, but Nick Maxwell might be right for that. In fact, when's Maxie coming back?
Take all my questions.
You got a question?
When's Nick Maxwell coming back?
Good question.
To be honest, we haven't really seen him around the club. He's just had a beautiful daughter, and the club's giving him a bit of time to spend some quality family times. But I wouldn't be surprised if Maxie's back earlier than what's expected. But I'm not too sure.
Talking about family, this is the first time a player has brought in Player of the Day. Robbo, you've brought in a Player of the Day from a cousin of yours.
Yes, my cousin Ronaldinho.
Who?
Ronaldinho.
Well, if you can't pronounce it, don't say it. But what I'm saying is that we do have it. We're going to roll it. And this year, what we do with the Player of the Day is just stop and say what happens next. No one has seen it, including me. Let's roll the tape. So you talk us through it. Yeah. He's just sort of thinking about, well, what does happen next? You know, so we won't ask you. Ox, what happens next?
Oh, I thought he was going to get run into the post, but that's not an option.
Well, it's not an option.
I'll say C, climbs the pole.
Climbs the pole, right? Oh, well, that seems ridiculous. Let's roll the tape. What's his name?
Ronaldinho.
He's a cousin of yours. And that can't be. Is that stuck to his head?
That's what he does. He actually learnt from me. So.
You can do that?
Different variation.
It's not a bad variation anyway. Now, Robbo, while we've got Harry, I want to get Harry's...
No, wait, that's not my cousin.
It's not?
It's not, no. I was...
OK, well, it's not. We should have set that up, but it sounded good for a
It
bit.
was great. It was a great line.
Robbo and Tim.
Yes.
Yep.
James Hird, Bomber Thompson. What was a pass mark for Essendon on field this year?
Robbo, you go first.
7 wins last year under Matthew Knights.
Pass mark would be 8th, 9th, 10th.
OK.
8th and 9th.
Ox?
No, I think about 9-10.
Well, a 50% record, and I reckon if they were between 10 and 7,
You reckon make the 8?
I think they will, and I really hope they do because, you know, when Essendon are in the finals, you know, when you've got the teams like Carlton, Essendon, and Collingwood in the finals, it's amazing.
Very, very quickly, because we're running out of time. Quick hands for you, Harry. Scott Pendlebury has them. Is the club ready for 2 sets of dreadlocks?
Well, I'm not too sure. We'll have to see how that dynamic works out. But no, he's he can wear whatever hairstyle he wants as long as he keeps playing that way.
All coaches have a pet. Mick's favourite?
Daisy Thomas.
Now, Harry, we know you love quotes. We know you love memorising quotes. What's your favourite quote?
Well, I'm going to use the one that I used last time I was on. That's no one normal has ever made history.
Nice.
There you go, Robbo.
Directed at you, mate. Who's your favourite person to follow on Twitter, Harry?
I'm following Charlie Sheen at the moment.
Are you winning?
That's what I like. Yeah. I'm just really interested to see how he's turning this into a money making.
Harry,
we're going to go.
Oh, sorry.
Seriously, got to go. Thank you for everything, and good luck this year.
Thank you very much.
Tim, thank you for coming on. Friday night football starts on Friday night. Geelong and St Kilda. Little Red playing on the ground beforehand. Really hope you can join us every Sunday morning from 10. Great to get the season underway. See you next week.